But last night, the Bulls did something no other team has done, including this year. 805 teams have played a full NBA season. Only one has reached the 70-win plateau, the 96 Chicago Bulls. Last night in Milwaukee, running early, Ron Harper, that beautiful over-the-head pass to Jordan, who was 9 of 27 shooting. Then Jordan took his turn running the break. Watch the no-look to Scotty. What a sweet flush. Bulls by 3 after 1, but Milwaukee played very good basketball. Sherman Douglas, the bang in the bucket. Bucks by 9 at the break. Second half, Bulls down 1. Steve Kerr knocks down a big triple, and the Bulls take a 1-point lead. Milwaukee trying to come back. A last chance. Vin Baker for the tie. Can't hit the jumper. The Bulls, with stifling defense, get win 70, the all-time NBA record.
70 games is a great record to have been a part of, but to say that it's above the championships and the world championships and the national championships and the gold medals, it's too early to compare that.
It doesn't matter if we win or lose or not. I think a lot of people will hope that we lost tonight and go home Thursday and win it at home. It didn't matter to me.
We're very happy to get the 70 game over with. I mean, this was pressure itself, and it shouldn't be like that. It's because our main focus is to win a title.
You tell me you guys aren't celebrating in there.
Hell no, we're ready to get the hell out of here. You know, Chiefs heads and all. So let's pack our bags and go home and have a couple cigars, and some guys going to make love to their wives and some guys not.
SportsCenter did not follow up on that last comment. To celebrate in Chicago last night at Michael Jordan's restaurant, they played 70s music and the staff wore 70s style clothing. Tonight we'll revisit the milestones on the way to 70 in our cover story. Also ahead, the best. Chicago was not on its A game, as we showed you earlier, when they assured the title of great last night in setting the NBA's single-season win mark. For tonight's cover story, Stuart Scott recounts the mileposts on the way to the magic number.
The Bulls' record-breaking season actually began last May when Horace Grant and the Magic slammed them out of the playoffs. Magic fans taunted Michael Jordan, reminding him he never won a title without Grant.
I like to think that we are rebounder away, or power forward away, Horace Grant away.
So the Bulls go out and get the enigmatic Dennis Rodman, and the rest, as they say, becomes history. With Jordan, Rodman, and the ultra-versatile Scottie Pippen in the lineup together, the Bulls stampede to an 11-2 start, including wins at San Antonio and Utah. But the talk of the league is Orlando and Penny Hardaway. Without the injured Shaquille O'Neal, they start the season 13-2, handing the Bulls loss number 1 in the process. As usual, though, Michael Jordan regains the spotlight. Game 14. The Bulls struggle for 3 quarters against the expansion Grizzlies until Jordan takes over.
Bulls are trailing by 4. Michael Jordan. They clear it out. Oh, what a move by Jordan! Michael 6 out of 8 from the field in the quarter. Jordan on the drive again. Little screen roll. Harvey didn't roll. The steal by Jordan. Goes in on Anthony. Yes!
The Bulls win 29 of their next 30 and set the record for best start to a season at 41-3. Along the way, Jordan shows rookie Jerry Stackhouse who's the best player to come out of North Carolina, scoring 48 points in a win over Philly. Dennis Rodman gets noticed for something other than rebounding.
Fakes it inside Rodman. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. They'll put up the 3. There it is! That's it. That's a good place to go. There it is! There it is! Triple-double. Not for Michael Jordan, no. Dennis Rodman's first career triple-double.
And the Bulls show the Lakers their own version of Showtime, spoiling Magic Johnson's second game back from retirement. Like the 71-72 Lakers, who won 69 games, Chicago's wins and losses in the second half become equally memorable. Highlights on a modern-day newsreel.
February 4th, Game 45. The Bulls spot the Nuggets a 31-point lead, roar back to take the lead in the fourth, only to fall short and absorb loss number 4. February 18th, Game 51. The Bulls get payback for an early season loss to Indiana. Not only does Jordan score 44, Pippen adds 40. The Bulls have win number 46. February 23rd, Game 54. Dressing just 8 players because of trades made at the deadline, the Heat ambush the Bulls. Rex Chapman shows the capacity to hit the 3 and the audacity to bark in Jordan's face after a hard foul. Perhaps inspired by the confrontation, the Bulls rally furiously. but can't avoid loss number 6.
You have to really respect everyone when you step on the basketball court, no matter what transitions or transactions may have occurred in the course of the day. I think we really didn't come out and, just put any type of basketball efforts on the basketball court, and they did.
March 7th, game 60. Jordan goes over, around, and through the Pistons for an NBA season-high 53 points, and everything appears back to normal with win number 54. But then more breaking news.
During Rodman's 6-game suspension, Jordan carries the Bulls to 5 wins and nearly a 6th, but the buzzer beats him in Toronto. With Pippen and Rodman back in the fold in early April, the Bulls get revenge with a home-and-home sweep of the pesky Heat, and in Game 73, they jump out to an unheard-of 20-0 lead at Charlotte en route to a 34-point annihilation of the Hornets and win number 65. Game 74, the Bulls face the difficult task of knocking off the Magic at the O-Arena. But when Penny and Shaq are unable to convert from in close with just seconds to play, the Bulls escape with win number 66 and a 3-1 series edge over their arch rival. Needing just 4 wins in their final 8 games to reach 70, a shocker. Game 75. The Bulls struggle all night against the Hornets, and when they look for last-minute heroics, nobody delivers.
Kerr to Kukoc. Tony on the move. To the bucket. No, the tip Rodman. No, the tip Jordan. No, Pippen. No. And the ball game is over.
Not only is it loss number 9, but it is loss number 1 at the United Center, and their first loss at home since Jordan's return March 24th, 1995.
It seems that that's all anyone has wanted to talk about recently. 70 wins, home court, winning streak, going undefeated at home. And we keep repeating that it doesn't make that much difference to us. Sure, it's nice, but this game is not going to hurt us at all.
And Kerr was right. It didn't. Game 76, the Bulls returned to the scene of Rodman's headbutt incident. This time, no problems from Rodman, no problems from the Nets. The Bulls have win number 67. Game 77, the Bulls host the hapless Sixers. Could Philly pull off the miracle? Not a chance. Bulls lead by 25 after 3 quarters and cruise to win number 68. Game 78. The Cavs and their slow-down strategy are all that stands between the Bulls tying the Lakers. Instead of a struggle, it's a slow death for Cleveland, and the Bulls have win number 69. The stage is set for Tuesday night in Milwaukee.
Tony, his pass deflected inside. Scotty, great fake pass to Luke for the jam. What a super start for a team looking for a great record and a big mark at 70 wins. Michael comes up with this one. 3-on-2, Bulls break to Scotty for the jam.
Ranked ahead, running Michael. MJ to Pippen again for two. Whole different ball game now, Neil. Kukoc flipped down to MJ, 8 on the shot clock. Turns, fires, nope. Rebound tapped out of there. Rodman has it to Kerr. 3-ball, no. Kerr the tray. Bulls lead by 1. Pippen holds. The crowd on their feet. The Bulls have won 70. 86-80 the final. The Bulls do what no team has done before.
If they win out and go 73-9, that winning percentage would be close to 90%, but would be behind the perfect Dolphins and the 2 15-1 NFL teams if you were making a list of the best winning percentage seasons in the 4 major pro sports. And by the way, over the last 40 days and night, this is the 44th and hopefully final analysis of the greatest season in NBA.
Sam Donaldson in Washington and Chief Correspondent Chris Wallace. Tonight, it's ecstasy. Record-breaking Chicago Bulls. Tonight, a primetime exclusive. Chief Correspondent Chris Wallace goes one-on-one with Michael Jordan.
Please don't let him win.
And his legendary teammate. See wild man Dennis Rodman unwind after he's thrown out of the game.
People would love to see. They would love to see me kill myself.
And hear how Scottie Pippen really feels about his explosive teammate.
I don't love him now.
Tonight, go inside the game you've never seen before. No rules, no timeout, just the amazing Chicago Bulls. The verdict. Rodman, like you've never seen.
The Chicago Bulls, they are more than just a sports team. They are an entire pop culture phenomenon. All season long, they've been setting records for attendance, ratings, victories, and female fans. Chief correspondent Chris Wallace, he decided to make the sacrifice and find out what it takes to be the very best. Chris?
Diane, we've been tracking the Bulls for more than 2 months now, following them on the road and at home, watching them on court and off. Last night, the Bulls broke the record for regular season victories, winning number 70. The debate will now rage about whether they are the best team ever. What we found during our time with the Bulls is that they're not just great athletes, they are a fascinating assortment of personalities. And one thing they understand is show business.
And now, your Chicago Bulls!
There's a sense they're creating a kind of magic, and you better see them before they disappear. They are, quite simply, the Beatles of basketball. They even have their own Fab Four. Dennis Rodman, the tattooed, dyed-hair bad boy. Scottie Pippen, the elegant stylist, many think is now the game's best all-around player. Phil Jackson, the mystic Zen master coach, and the man who's been called the Babe Ruth of basketball. Night after night, Michael Jordan does things that, quite simply, no one's ever seen on a basketball court before. But at age 33, Jordan has retired once already, which makes people all the more anxious to see him before he leaves the stage.
There's a limit to what I do and how long I do it, and I think they appreciate it a little bit more now because they didn't know it's not going to be around much longer.
This one turned into one of those games you have to manufacture a win out of, and that's what we did tonight.
For a few weeks during a crucial stretch of this season, the Bulls let us inside their traveling roadshow. We went along as they found ways to compete off the court, as they unwound in their specially outfitted plane, and as they dealt with the pressures of trying to win 70 games in the regular season, more than any team in the NBA ever had. What we found was there's a lot more going on here than just basketball. In fact, it sometimes felt more like a soap opera.
Everyone last year, at the end of last year, said that he's losing a step, he's making mistakes.
After a failed attempt at baseball, Jordan returned to basketball near the end of last season. And for the first time, he seemed to have lost some of his skills.
And is that part of what this year is about, trying to prove that you're the best all over again?
Sure. They criticized my game, which before I retired, no one could do that. No one could criticize my game.
It was precisely the kind of challenge this super competitor likes to use to drive himself. This season, he's once again leading the league in scoring. Opponents say he's more focused, hungrier than ever.
Straight out, no false modesty. Are you the best to ever play this game?
I like to think that I was the best. When I leave this game, I like to think that I was the best I ever played in the 15 years that I played.
I got a first-hand look at Jordan's competitive drive at the Bulls practice gym outside Chicago when we played a schoolyard shooting game called Horse. Your opponent picks up a letter every time you make a shot and he misses. Jordan wanted to shorten the game.
Instead of horse, let's play dog.
What's dog?
D-O-G instead of H-O-R-S-E.
Oh, yes, okay.
Because I got a feeling you ain't going to win.
I then gave Jordan a few handicaps. He started with D-O and had to shoot from beyond the three-point line. He tried some mind games to reduce my advantage.
No, hold.
I have to go, I can't do it.
You got to stay outside the red, right?
All right, I'll stay outside the red. Oh, see, he's already got the game going. All right, here we go.
I understand the game.
Jordan matched me and then started to turn up the heat.
Hey. Well, I see you don't like noise. I hate to see you play in front of 23,000.
It became clear he doesn't like to lose at anything. Jordan began coming back. It came down to one last shot.
Oh, we're back to a pressure point again. Please don't let him win. Please don't let him win.
Now, that would be dog, wouldn't it?
No, weren't we playing horse?
I then decided to press my luck and cover Jordan one-on-one.
Now you're going to give me a jump shot. What are you doing?
This is humiliating, isn't it?
That's the
point, isn't it?
That's the point. That's the difference between you and me. I'm a professional, you're an amateur. See, this is the whole art of me having an advantage over the defense. You can't tell me. No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Does the expression toying with somebody mean anything?
Okay, you think it's so easy? You try it.
When I sit here and I'm looking at Michael eye to eye, I mean, this is our team.
When Jordan left basketball in 1993, Scottie Pippen emerged as the team star. But he didn't seem comfortable in the spotlight. And after 3 straight championships, the Bulls didn't even make it to the final.
The Knicks have defeated the Bulls.
Now Jordan's back, and so is the team. And Pippen is back to being basketball's most talented second banana.
Do you ever resent, as good as you are, that you're playing in his shadow to some degree?
No, I don't. I'm going to be successful no matter whose shadow you put me in. I feel like that I have enough talent that I'm going to be able to shine on my own.
While he's worked out his relationship with Jordan, it's a different story with his other famous teammate.
You have a souvenir from Rodman under your chin, don't you?
Yeah. And,
Where?
Unwanted souvenir.
Pippen has a scar on his chin from a 1991 playoff game when Dennis Rodman, then with the Detroit Pistons, shoved him off the court and into a camera.
Very unprofessional of Dennis.
No hard feelings?
Yeah, I guess you could say it was hard feelings.
But I mean now?
I don't love him now.
The Bulls traded for Rodman this year for one reason. Even with Jordan back, they were still weak at the big men positions under the basket. And Rodman is considered the best rebounder in the game.
We thought that of all the choices we had to make, he was the one that could give us the best upside with the fewest risks.
You say fewest risks. Aren't there a lot of risks to Dennis Rodman?
There's risks to Dennis Rodman.
The risks start with a wildly flamboyant lifestyle. Frequent trips to strip bars, dating Madonna, and of course, that look.
What's the deal with the hair and the tattoos and all that jazz?
I felt totally bland with the whole NBA deal, you know, going to work and doing the same thing every day. And so one day I said, let me do something with my hair. I tried the dreadlocks. I tried a couple other things, afro. Then all of a sudden, I said, let's try color.
He certainly has. Colors that could stop traffic, literally. 2 weeks ago, a local Chicago men's store had to take down a big mural of Rodman because it was causing tie-ups on the expressway. His look is accessorized by tattoos, body piercing, and an astonishing collection of hats.
People say that Dennis Rodman doesn't just march to a different drummer. You march to a whole different band.
Yeah, I don't march to Frank Sinatra, Diana Ross. I sit there and I meditate to Pearl Jam.
But it's Rodman's antics on the court, angering officials, tuning out his teammates, that were the big question mark this year. Head coach Phil Jackson somehow has to handle Rodman and all his other superstars' super egos.
If you can't have fun doing it like this, then it's not worth coaching because this is as good as it gets in basketball.
Jackson, the son of evangelist preachers, is a follower of Zen Buddhism and has some unique coaching techniques. He reads his players' poetry and encourages them to study meditation. And while the players don't buy all of it, they say they appreciate being treated like men and not high-priced pieces of meat.
You hand out books to your players.
Uh-huh.
Why?
It's a gift. I don't expect more than 25 to 30% of them will read it. But they've got it. And if they read it 20 years from now, fine.
Jackson says the key to a team is what he calls the joy of losing yourself in the dance. That creating a team is a spiritual act.
Men like doing things. Women, they do too. They go to knitting parties maybe back when my mother was young.
I'm not sure this is going to be politically correct, Coach, but go ahead.
It's okay. But men like doing things together. They like going hiking together, fishing together, football games together, those kind of things together. Playing ball is a spiritual act. It's beyond words.
But nobody gets through an NBA season without a few challenges. And we were there for the Bulls' toughest moment, the suspension of a key player.
When we come back, behind the scenes with the Bulls, we go on board their private jet. And we spend the day with Dennis Rodman after his tantrum makes headlines across the country.
Volunteers are at the...
For the Bulls, we were there when something went wrong. It happened one weekend in March, starting in New Jersey. The Bulls' nights are electric, lived in the spotlight. But their days look like this, hanging out in hotels. Backup center Bill Wennington has been taking home movies all season of life with the Bulls, such as Thanksgiving dinner in a Salt Lake City hotel.
Thanksgiving on the road, Chicago Bulls. This is what it's like. There you go, Scotty. Scotty, what are you going to eat on this Thanksgiving Day, Scotty? Look at that food.
Nice,
look at that. That's beautiful.
One Saturday in mid-March, he narrates the view of the New Jersey Meadowlands from his hotel room.
Lovely view of New Jersey here at the hotel. Life in the NBA, it's just grand.
Downstairs, Jordan is in the exercise room. At age 33, he says he's older and wiser. He used to live on junk food, but now eats chicken and pasta. And for the first time in his career, he works out regularly.
As you get older, you lose something. And what you do in working out physically is to try to conserve some of those things that you lose so quickly.
So if you were 100% at your peak, where are you now?
Now maybe about 97, 95. I'm not far off, but I'm pretty close. It's hard for the eye to detect, which is good.
Dennis Rodman has his own way of preparing. In the locker room before the game, he listens to Pearl Jam, appearing to be at peace with the world. But only 10 minutes into the game, the time bomb that's been ticking all season explodes.
Rodman can't believe it.
Rodman is called for a technical foul, and during an argument, headbutts a referee. He is thrown out of the game, but doesn't leave the court quickly or quietly.
Dennis Rodman is irate.
One of the Bulls' stars, Scottie Pippen, is already out with a bad ankle. And now this. For the first time all season, the team is thrown off balance.
You run your 5 up, you get Bill out there, get a jumper. Now we got to get a flow to this game.
Jordan realizes he now has two jobs, his own and Rodman's. He is all over the court, scoring 37 points and pulling down 16 rebounds. In the end, the Bulls escape with a 2-point victory. Back in the locker room, Rodman is in a talkative mood, perhaps too talkative.
Rod Thorne, David Stern, suspend me, okay? You guys are so big, suspend me.
By the next day, the incident is getting banner headlines on sports pages across the country. The Bulls have an off day in Philadelphia, so we take a ride with Rodman.
Do you think you did anything wrong last night?
I didn't do anything wrong last night. In my honest opinion, I didn't do anything wrong. It's getting too obvious what the league and the referees are doing. They're making me a marked man where any little thing that I do is a problem. And tomorrow people look in the black and white, oh, he's done it again, he's at it again. What is wrong with that psycho? And they don't understand, though. I'm not crazy. I know exactly what's going on.
On a day when he's under threat of a major suspension, Rodman takes us to a giant indoor amusement park, featuring, appropriately enough, virtual reality games.
This is a little bit of deja vu with last night in New Jersey.
Later, we play a more sedate game of pool, but nothing is ever sedate with Rodman, as when he asked for some scissors to loosen his shirt.
People love to see, they love to see me kill myself, wouldn't they?
Back at the hotel, veterans Ron Harper and James Edwards relax, watching college basketball. Edwards shows us some of the problems someone 7'1" has on the road, like trying to sleep in a hotel bed or trying to take a shower.
Well, you kind of got to bend down like that, so they don't make hotels for 7'1" guys. Usually guys your height.
But there's no laughing the next afternoon when the NBA announces its verdict.
One of pro basketball's most volatile players has been penalized for his behavior.
Rodman is suspended 6 games. The combination of fine and suspension will cost him more than $200,000. It's the third stiffest fine to that point in NBA history, and it may also cost the Bulls their opportunity to win 70 games.
In a few minutes, the Bulls will play the lowly Philadelphia 76ers.
A game that under normal circumstances would be considered easy. But with Pippen injured and Rodman now suspended, there will be no easy games, which means the burden falls even more heavily than usual on Michael Jordan.
Jordan's shot from the outside is off, but Stars somehow find a way. He starts slashing to the basket, scoring 38. The Bulls win their 58th game of the season. Close to midnight, the team piles into its bus heading for the airport. The Zen Master coach reviews a surprisingly tough road trip.
The last week or so, I've been seeing Dennis getting a little more irritated in his behavior, and I don't know whether it's the time of the season or just, maybe it's the phase of the moon. Who knows?
Are you really this unflappable, or are you just a hell of an actor?
Well, I think it's an outward thing. There's an inward too. That sometimes I get caught up in my breath, and I'm clenching up here in the shoulders, and that's why I got these shoulders probably in the first place. But
the players finally have a chance to relax on their private jet, which for these road warriors is a kind of home. It's more like a cruise ship than an airplane. Up front, the players settle into oversized seats. Dennis Rodman, of all people, is in charge of the in-flight entertainment. John Sally, who's played 10 years on 4 teams, says the Bulls are different.
So, John, is this the way all teams travel in the NBA?
Let me tell you something. This is living.
The middle cabin looks like a living room, and the food they serve is not your standard airline chow.
It's chicken. Chicken. Ah.
In the back are small compartments. In one, assistant coaches Jim Clemens and John Paxson are already analyzing tapes of the game that just ended.
If we were home, we'd watch it the next morning. But, we turn around and play Sacramento tomorrow night, so we have to, tomorrow we'll get in and we'll work on that.
But the real action is in another compartment, where Michael Jordan holds court, running his fiercely fought game of 5-card gin rummy.
Is this a regular game, the 4 of you?
This is like a ritual.
And who wins?
It varies. Nobody wins dominantly. This is my way of giving some of my money back. This is the way Jack get paid.
While he relaxes, Jordan is hooked up to an electric stimulator to help his sore knee.
It stimulates the muscles so that the blood could flow easily to the tendonitis of my knee.
And it really makes a difference.
It really does. Recovery time I'll be ready tomorrow.
Tomorrow is another game at home in the grinding 6-month season. The Bulls head back to Chicago on board Champion Air. Finally, last night, the Bulls broke the record.
There it is, 70 wins on the season.
With their usual sense of theater, the Big Three found one another in the crowd. But the record won't mean much unless the Bulls go on to win their 4th championship. And while the team seems to hold a winning hand, there is one wild card in the deck.
You going to do anything to hurt this team in the playoffs?
No, not at all.
So what's your goal in the playoffs this year?
To do what I always do, play hard and be Dennis Rodman.
Will this team win the championship?
yeah, they've done everything right. They've accomplished what's supposed to be right. They're a group that likes each other. They're a giving, sharing group. They have good leadership. So I see no reason why we won't win a championship.
After the weeks we spent with the Bulls, watching Jackson's almost mystical leadership and Jordan's remarkable will to win, we wouldn't bet against them. The Bulls may be defeated, but they won't self-destruct. We keep thinking back to a poem that Phil Jackson likes to read to his team. It's Rudyard Kipling's Law of the Jungle.
As a creeper that girdles a tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wool, and the strength of the wool is the pack.